Jamal Freeman, relaxed at the mic, adjusts his headphones, anticipation gleaming in his eyes. He smiles warmly, ready to share his passion. Welcome back to the show, everyone. Today we're diving into a topic that's close to my heart, Black history. And I'm thrilled to have Gwen Gates with us, a true expert in the field. In the podcast studio, Gwen smiles back, a playful glint in her eyes. Gwen, seated directly across from Jamal, exudes charisma. Thanks for having me, Jamal. I'm excited to be here, Gwen says warmly. The studio lights gleam, highlighting the anticipation. Jamal, unseen, is set to engage in a captivating discussion. In the podcast studio, Jamal adjusts his microphone, preparing to delve into a crucial topic. He leans forward, his expression thoughtful as he turns to Gwen. Jamal's focused gaze conveys the weight of the conversation to come. So, Gwen, let's start with the basics, he begins, setting the stage for a deep dive. His question hangs in the air. Why is it so important to emphasize that Black History is Times American history? The studio awaits Gwen's response, the silence amplifying the significance of the question. Gwen sits poised at the microphone, a halo of warm light accentuating her thoughtful expression. The soundproof studio walls whisper of countless stories waiting to be told. Her voice, clear and resonant, fills the small room, carrying the weight of history. Because for too long, Black contributions have been marginalized, Gwen says, her eyes gleaming. Recognizing Black history as American history acknowledges the full story, she affirms. The microphone stands as a silent witness, amplifying voices that demand to be heard. In the podcast studio, Jamal snaps his fingers, his eyes gleaming with passion and intensity. His enthusiasm fills the room as he leans forward, ready to dive into the discussion. Exactly, it's about correcting the record, Jamal declares, his voice ringing with conviction. He challenges his guest, his gaze sharp and expectant, eager for their insights. Can you give us some examples of often overlooked contributions? He asks, pressing the point. The studio buzzes with anticipation as the conversation teeters on the edge of revelation. In the podcast studio, Gwen pauses, a thoughtful expression gracing her face as she gathers her thoughts. She leans forward, ready to continue, her eyes sparkling with passion for the untold stories. Think about the Harlem Renaissance, she begins, her voice resonating with admiration. Or the crucial role of Black soldiers in every American war, Gwen adds, her tone emphasizing pride. Her voice softens, yet remains strong. Or even the countless inventions by Black innovators that we use every day, she concludes, her words hanging in the air, a challenge and a celebration. Inside the podcast studio, Jamal leans forward, his brow furrowed in thought, a shift in tone imminent. The studio lights reflect in his serious gaze as he prepares to delve deeper into the narrative. It's not just about celebrating achievements, though, right? He begins, his voice laced with anticipation. A pregnant pause hangs in the air as Jamal sets the stage for a more profound discussion. It's also about confronting the darker chapters, Jamal says, emphasizing the weight of his words. In the podcast studio, Gwen nods, her expression serious, the weight of the topic settling upon her. Gwen leans forward, her voice resolute. Absolutely, we can't shy away from discussing slavery, segregation, and systemic racism, she continues, her words echoing in the studio. Her gaze intensifies, the urgency of her message palpable. Understanding these injustices is crucial for building a more equitable future, Gwen concludes, her commitment unwavering. Inside the podcast studio, Jamal nervously adjusts his microphone, the red recording light glaring. He leans forward, a thoughtful expression on his face, as he prepares to address his listeners. Speaking of the future, he begins, his voice clear and steady despite his earlier fidgeting. What can listeners do to actively preserve and promote Black history in their own communities? Bathed in warm studio lights, Gwen's passion radiates as she settles in front of the microphone, ready to inspire. A genuine smile lights up her face, hinting at the powerful message she's about to share with the world. She leans forward, her eyes sparkling with conviction, preparing to speak her truth. There are so many ways, Gwen exclaims, her voice ringing with enthusiasm and hope. Engage in open and honest conversations about race and history, she urges, her words carrying weight. In the podcast studio, Jamal leans into the mic, ready to broadcast. Jamal gestures emphatically, driving home his point with passion. Don't forget to support educational initiatives, Jamal urges, that prioritize inclusive curricula. Jamal concludes, his voice full. Gwen, bathed in studio light, sits poised at the microphone, ready to ignite minds in conversation. Her voice, strong and clear, cuts through the airwaves, commanding attention with every syllable. A decisive nod punctuates her words, infusing them with conviction and unwavering resolve. Yes, and amplify Black voices in your own social circles and online platforms, Gwen declares. Her words linger in the studio, a powerful call to action echoing in the listener's mind. In the podcast studio, Jamal adjusts his headphones, a focused intent in his eyes. He leans towards the microphone, ready to capture every nuance of the conversation. His expression turns thoughtful as he prepares to pose a final, pivotal question. "Gwen, this has been incredibly insightful," Jamal begins, his voice warm and appreciative. He concludes with genuine curiosity. "Any final thoughts for our listeners?" In a soundproof studio, Gwen smiles, ready to illuminate the untold stories of history. Bathed in spotlight, she exudes warmth, inviting listeners into a world of discovery. "Remember that Black history isn't just for February," Gwen says, voice ringing with conviction. "It's a year-round commitment to understanding the American story," she adds, her eyes bright. In the podcast studio, Jamal claps his hands, a wide, engaging smile lighting up his face. His enthusiasm fills the room, signaling the successful end of the discussion. "Well said," Jamal exclaims, his voice full of genuine appreciation. He turns towards Gwen Gates, his expression conveying sincere gratitude. "Gwen Gates, thank you so much for joining us today," he concludes, wrapping up the session. Inside the podcast studio, Gwen smiles back at Jamal, her eyes reflecting genuine warmth and appreciation. "My pleasure, Jamal," Gwen responds, her voice filled with sincerity. Jamal beams, his expression radiating enthusiasm. Jamal addresses the audience, his tone inspiring. "Thanks for tuning in. Keep exploring, keep learning," Jamal encourages, his words resonating with passion. Jamal concludes, his voice strong, "And keep making history."